So I am going to help you. And these are some of the things that I've experienced, and these are some of the things my friends have experienced. I'm just gonna lay a few things out. They haven't all happened to me. Some of them have just happened to my friends. A lot of them have happened to me.
I'd like to again point out that if Tomi has had bad experience after bad experience with men, one has to wonder why she hasn't even considered the possibility that she might be the problem. The only common denominator in all her failed relationships is her.
So, the first thing, and I've made notes, by the way. I've made notes. This is how invested I am in this, because I've been thinking about this for about 2 weeks solid now. First question for men. If you like a girl, if you're even somewhat interested in a girl, you need to ask yourself this question. Are you single?
I don't need to do anything, Tomi. Like I said before, men do not owe you anything. Not good treatment, not honesty, not a relationship, period. If you're making a suggestion, that's one thing. But men are free to reject your suggestions and pursue other women. Just like you're free to reject men you're not attracted to.
No, I don't mean are you kind of single, seeing 5 people, dating somebody, still kind of in a relationship, kind of broken up, kind of on again, off again, kind of married, kind of divorced. Are you actually single?
Let me guess. You went on a date with a guy, jumped in bed with him on the first date, and then a few days later discovered he was banging 20 other girls, right? Now you're just horrified. But tell me, Tomi, how many times have you been texting or talking to multiple guys who are interested in you, trying to keep all of them on the hook so that you could choose the best one once you got bored with all the others? I've met plenty of women who seem to think there's nothing wrong with this. You might think it's unkind for a guy to be seeing other girls without disclosing it to you, but again, he does not owe you that information. Did you stop to think that maybe if you refuse to give out sex prior to him demonstrating commitment, you might not find yourself in this situation?
That means single. You have nobody. You have no complications. You have no attachments. You are actually single. That is the first question, believe it or not, that needs to be asked. And ladies, you should be asking it, because in 2020, it's not a given anymore that a guy that's actively pursuing you is actually single. So that's the first thing.
And it's not a given that the woman jumping in bed with you is actually single either. In fact, if you met her on Tinder or some other dating app, I virtually guarantee she's talking with multiple other guys. You decide who you're going to date, and you decide whether to judge them by their words and appearance or by their proven record of past behavior. I guarantee that if you refuse to give up sex before commitment, you would not have been fooled like you've apparently been.
The second thing that I think is very important that men don't seem to understand. There are very few women out there, and I'm speaking from personal experience as well as from all of my friends and all the women, quite frankly, that I talk to. There is not a woman out there that wants to be your pen pal. She doesn't want to get your texts, your good morning texts, your good night texts, your random through the day texts, if they don't follow up with a plan to actually, here's the kicker, in person, hang out. Now, I know what you're saying. Oh, it's COVID. People can't hang out in person. This has not been a 4-month problem. This has been a 5-year problem that I've experienced with men and my friends have experienced with men. Women do not want a pen pal. We don't want a texting pal. We quite frankly don't care if you text us all day or if you don't text us at all. If you're not going to make a plan to actually see us in person, not interested.
Oh, so women never do this either. I mean, it's not like women are more than willing to flirt via text message, but then become super busy when you actually suggest getting together. Tomi, what the heck? You can choose to block the numbers of men that you don't want texting you. You can make clear to a guy from the start that if he's not actually wanting to get together and hang out, you're not interested in flirting via text messages. But I'll tell you what. If there are guys out there that keep acting like your pen pal, as you call it, I guarantee it's because you choose to keep texting them back. If you didn't keep texting them back, they wouldn't keep doing it. So who exactly is at fault for this problem?
And if you do have a woman out there that just wants to be your pen pal, it's probably because she has a boyfriend or a husband or a wife or whatever.
That may well be true. But again, who is it that decides to keep entertaining this by texting back?
We don't want a pen pal. But that also leads me to my second point. This is going to be backwards for you guys. Make plans. Make a plan. Do not assume that you can text somebody randomly in the middle of the day, what are you doing? Or text them at midnight or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. or even just within hours of when you actually want to see them and think that they're going to be available. I personally, once I get home and I take my makeup off and I'm watching TV, I'm no longer interested. So if you didn't make a plan earlier in the day, or better yet, a day or 2 or 3 in advance, I'm not interested. I don't want to hang out anymore because that ship has sailed.
Okay. The only reason that I can fathom that Tomi would be mad about this is because she's gotten this kind of, hey, let's bang text at 1 o'clock in the morning. But the thing is, it came from Chad Maximum, some man that she thought was super high value. So she's like, okay, gets right out of bed, dolls herself up, runs over and complies. But then when morning comes and he doesn't want to have breakfast with her, she's hurt. Tomi, if this is so rude and inconsiderate, why don't you just ignore men who send these texts? Block their numbers. It's not that hard. And if you seriously thought that giving this kind of man sex after he texts at 1 in the morning would somehow make him want to commit to you, you deserve to be hung out to dry.
Make a plan. I want to hang out with you at this time. It doesn't have to even be a date. I want to see you at this time. Are you free at this time? Or when are you free? I will accommodate my schedule to see you. When are you free? I want to see you. I know it's not rocket science, but men of 2020, it seems like it's pretty difficult for you to figure out.
As a man, I can say that I've met plenty of women who are wishy-washy like this when it comes to plans. You know what I do when that happens? I delete their numbers and accept that they're not interested. They don't owe me anything, but then again, I don't owe them anything either. And again, Tomi, this might be hard for you to process, so I will keep on saying it. Men do not owe you anything, but it's you who decide who you're going to spend time with. No one decides that but you.
And I'm not a feminist, so please don't take this as a feminist rant. I love men. I think men are great. I think men have failed themselves and they've failed us. And I'm just trying to help you out because I think there are a lot of really great guys out there who need a little help. And I don't think that there are a lot of women that are stepping up and saying these things.
Oh yeah, I'm not a feminist. I love men. They're just all garbage and they have a moral obligation to treat me the way I want them to.
And not FaceTime me, I swear to God. Quite frankly, I don't think that there are a lot of women that aren't raging feminists that don't look like Lena Dunham. They're saying these things to you. So I'm going to go ahead and say them because they need to be said. I am really so sick of my friends having to deal with trash men. I am tired of dealing with trash men, so I'm going to help you out.
Oh, so Lena Dunham is right about this kind of stuff. I thought you just said you aren't a feminist. I believe it was Mark Twain who once said, better to keep your mouth shut and have everyone think you're a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. You ought to take that advice, Tomi.
Make plans. So let's go through these lists again because I know y'all love a list. Number 1, are you single? Number 2, make a plan. Nobody wants a pen pal. We want to actually see you. If not, don't text us because it's a waste of our time and we don't want to see it on our phones. Got it? All right. Next thing. Value. Okay? Value.
Tomi, are you freaking kidding me? You do not get to tell men what they should or shouldn't value. Value is subjective to an individual. Imagine what would happen if a successful electrical engineer, who happens to only be 5'4" tall, were to make a video where he suggested that women were morally deficient for not placing value on his technical expertise over his height. How absurd! Women are free to value what they're going to value, and men can't force them otherwise. Now, I happen to think many women are in fact screwing themselves by choosing to value good looks, height, and income more than they value character. But that doesn't mean I get to tell them what they must value. But again, the kicker is this. You are the one deciding what men you're going to spend your time with.
Take that in. Just repeat it to yourself until it makes sense. Okay.
Nonsense remains nonsense, even when spoken by a beautiful girl. Repeat that until it makes sense.
If you want to date a girl that has nothing going on, then that's fine.
Oh, so men do have the right to pick the women they want based on what they value. Isn't that the opposite of what you just said?
But please do not mix in people like me and my friends who have something going on with your other girls that have nothing going on. And by nothing going on, I mean this. There is no job that is unimportant. There is no job that's not valuable or that's not worthy. It is. But if you want to mix in people like me and people like my friends who are go-getters, who work really hard, who make their own money, who are talented, skilled, ambitious, please don't mix us in with the Tatianas. We don't want to be there.
This may come as a shock to you, Tomi, but men, generally speaking, do not care about women with career ambition. Men generally value three things: youth, beauty, and fertility. Now, marriage-minded men care about a demonstrated ability to be a wife and a mother. Players care about a woman's willingness to spread her legs. The only people who care about women having something going on, as you put it, are women who think they have something going on. And mostly those crazy blue-haired feminists that you supposedly despise while agreeing with them on everything.
If that's what you want, find them. Please, for the love of God, do not mix us in with them because we don't want to be there. And quite frankly, we take it as an insult if we find out that you are also talking to 5 Tatianas who have nothing going on. People like me and my friends are going to be insulted by that. And there's almost really no coming back from it.
Apparently not, because if this keeps happening over and over, you apparently keep going back to guys who treat you like this. Again, Tomi, men are free to talk to other women who you see as Tatianas if they want to. You're free to ignore these men, so why aren't you? Why is it that they have an obligation to change their behavior to suit your needs? Tell me, has a not-so-attractive guy ever demanded that you give him the time of day because he's so nice and successful? What exactly would you say to such a man if he did?
So if you want that kind of a girl, the kind of girl who's just kind of happy going through the motions of life, not really super ambitious, hasn't really found herself yet, doesn't really have a whole lot going on other than she's pretty, please just go after them. And please do not mix us in.
Why, thank you, Tomi. That's exactly what I intend to do. But don't you then complain about the fact that you're single and can't control what men place value upon. You're free to believe that you're a real catch, but you cannot demand that any man wants you. It's not possible. To end this segment of my response to Tomi, I want everyone to think again about that scenario I mentioned earlier. Imagine we have a man who's reasonably good looking, holds a PhD in engineering or some other scientific technical field, makes a 6-figure income, but is only 5'4" tall. I imagine that such a man would probably have trouble getting attention from a lot of women, because face it, he's pretty short compared to other men. But imagine how much backlash he would get if he made a video saying, "Women are just too stupid to recognize how great I am. I mean, placing value on those brainless meathead guys who are over 6 feet tall instead of recognizing my PhD in engineering? Do they have any idea how valuable that is? Listen up, ladies. You need to start valuing value." I mean, how absurd. Such a guy could rant all he wants. It doesn't change the fact that women are always going to value a guy who's 6'2" more than they do a guy who's 5'4". You can cry, you can scream, but that's just the way it is. The sooner you accept this and acknowledge that life's not fair, the happier you'll be. However, this is essentially what Tomi is doing when she calls out men for not valuing women with career success and ambition more than women without it. Except the only difference is men can't control how tall they are. Women can control whether they choose to place more value on the things men value or the things feminists value. Tomi can cry, she can scream, but it doesn't change the fact that men do not care about women with career success. They are not obligated to change their values for her any more than she's obligated to change her values for them. Think about it. And that is my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. Thanks everyone for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, as well as hit the bell to receive notifications so that you never miss an upload. And if you're a fan of my channel, please consider supporting me on Subscribestar, Bitbacker, or Patreon to receive special rewards. All links can be found in the About section of my website, my2centsvideos.com.